Tony Gaskins here. Let this Facebook Live load up. I missed the last couple of days on Facebook Live. I was filming for TonyGaskinsAcademy.com, putting up a new course, social media course. So I was filming for that. Video's still loading, but because it's recorded, I start talking at the beginning of it because it's, it plays back on the site. Just wanting to check in today because I was trying to do noon. Got caught up the last couple of days, couldn't do noon. Wanting to pop in today, just kind of share a few thoughts with you. Take a few questions from you if you have any questions. My inbox has really still been blowing up and I've been trying to go through it, but because it may be sometimes 300 messages in a day, I just can't really go through it. But I want you to continue to submit messages to me, write me, because as I get them, I'll be able to answer them. Hey Kelly, hey Brittany. And with those messages, what I'm gonna do is I'll be answering them, anonymously. Won't say your name or anything, but if it's a question that I feel like a lot of people are asking and I'm seeing the same type of question over and over, then I'll answer it, here soon. I'll be doing something on YouTube, so stay tuned. If you're not on my YouTube page, please go to YouTube and youtube.com/Tony Gaskins and subscribe, because I'll be putting videos there that won't be here on Facebook. How you doing? Amuna, Michelle, Coco, Sivy. I'm probably butchering y'all names, forgive me. But yeah, y'all forgive me for not being there the last couple of days. I said I was gonna do noon and didn't keep my word. How you doing, Shannon? Good to see you, brother. With your minute of wisdom, I saw some of them on Twitter. Keep that up, man. Jody Ann, S. Taylor, Felicia. Thank you, Felicia. Darnella. But I just wanted to pop in today because sometimes I know people can't make it on the power call on Thursday nights. And I honestly believe that at any given moment we can be going through anything and you just kind of need that extra word. And so I talk to myself all day long. I'm talking to myself all day long, and then God just put on my heart, instead of just talking to yourself, share that message out loud because it could help somebody else. And so thank you, Adalia, student. Hey, Cherie. I just wanted to remind you to be persistent and be consistent. And while you're being persistent and you're being consistent, also be patient. And a lot of times people think being patient means sitting idle and doing nothing. Being patient does not mean you sit and do nothing. Being patient means you still can work. You still can be working towards your goal and working on your goal and moving forward, but you have to be consistent. Somebody say that's not how you pronounce your name. I'm a little country, and you probably from another country, so my country and you from your country or different names. Forgive me for butchering y'all name though. They're from Bahamas. But you have to be consistent as you're moving towards your dreams, and know that you're going to go through this period of time that it seems like it's not happening fast enough. It's not happening fast enough. It's not coming fast enough. And you want something to open up. You want that breakthrough to happen, but it's just not there. And a lot of times you can get ready to turn back. And that's okay if you have to rework the plan. That's okay if you have to change things around. But if you know that you're doing what you were called to do, if you know that you're doing what you're supposed to do, you know that you're on the right path and you're doing something that is not just about profit, but it's about freedom, freeing your life up, helping your family out, breaking free from the shackles, from the generational curses that's been put on your life. If it's something in that line to where you know that what you're working on, what you're working towards will set you free, then you have to keep pressing forward. And you will be plugging and plugging and plugging and plugging, and it will feel like nothing is coming. And I was at this moment one time in my career, and I was just plugging and plugging and plugging, and I'm doing everything. And I'm like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And a lot of times we want instant gratification. We want something to happen right away. We want to see instant results. I've been in the weight room Tuesday and Thursday, and last year when I went in the weight room, I blew up fast. This time I'm in the weight room, and I'm like, man, I'm looking the same, but I feel better. See, sometimes there's a work being done on the inside. It's something that's going in deep down on the inside that's happening, and it takes time for it to come to the surface so it can be seen. But you have to realize that if you're on the right path and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're moving forward, and you have ambition, and you are persistent, and you are consistent, and at the same time you have that patience, you will run into your breakthrough. But when it's in expectation of your breakthrough, you always got to keep your head up. So when they say keep your head up, they really mean literally, because you will miss your blessing if your head is down. And I want you to understand that, because it can happen in any part of life. It can be in your relationship where you're waiting on something to change. You're waiting on a breakthrough in your relationship. You're waiting on your partner to change. It could be in your job when you're waiting on a raise. You're waiting on the boss to give you a call. You're waiting on a new job. You're waiting on your business to take off. Your entrepreneurial things that you're doing, you're waiting for it to happen, but it's not happening. That's when you have to check your heart, and you have to check your motives, and you have to make sure that you're doing something that really matters, that you're doing something that has some type of purpose. And if you have to have a job, which we all have to have a job, but if you find yourself having to work a job that the only purpose of that job is to pay bills, then that's when you have to tap into something that will allow you to serve your purpose. Because when you understand purpose, and you start pursuing purpose, and you start chasing purpose, and it could be a nonprofit organization, it could be helping the youth, it could be helping the elderly, it can be helping people like you, people who have gone through what you've gone through, people who are going through what you've gone through, people who are going through what you're going through. You can be a blessing, and you can be living a life of purpose. And see, a lot of people don't understand it, but purpose is really what sets you free. Because see, we try to just make money. And I see these people, and I was listening to an interview of some millionaires the other day. It was YouTube millionaires. And they said, we made $1 million in the first 12 months. We hit 7 figures in the first 12 months. In the first 24 months, we profited 7 figures. They were in their early 20s, and they were selling weave extensions, selling hair extensions. But they would go on YouTube, and they would do hair tutorials, and they were selling these weaves. They're doing hair, and then put the link to their weave that they got from Alibaba.com, which is in China, and they got the weave in, and they selling extensions for, instead of selling it for $300, they selling it for $170, but they was getting it for $50 a unit. So they were doubling their money, and their account started to grow. And they said, we got all this money, and we're traveling around the world, and we were traveling around the world, and we were sitting on the beach in France. I didn't even know France had a beach, but they had that much money. They were sitting on the beach in France or somewhere like that, and they said they were down, they were upset, they were just not happy with life. And the woman went into depression. Here go a woman who, 25 years old, and she's a millionaire selling hair extensions by making tutorials on YouTube, and she was depressed. So they came back home, and when they came back home, they said, you know what, we're going to tap into purpose. We're going to tap into things and do things that make us happy. Because, see, you can find anything to make money, but money is not enough. Money will not bring happiness. You have to have purpose. And see, with purpose, sometimes purpose will be painful. And purpose will require patience, because purpose will not always be easy. It won't always just open up. And no matter what level you go to, you will always be introduced to a new devil. With new levels come new devils. So when I was broke, I said I want to be rich because I will be happy. When I made a little money, I thought it would buy happiness and all the problems would go away, but a problem surfaces in another way. So now you have problems that you cannot pay off. You have problems that money won't solve. So whatever you do as your living, you have to identify your purpose, something that you can do that will take you to the next level, that will allow you to have some hard work being done in the world. And it can start so small. It can start anywhere. It can start by helping one child, helping one adult, helping one homeless person, helping one elderly person, helping your family take the shackles off their mind and be set free from being broke-minded, being poverty-minded, scarcity-minded. You can do that, and you can start to change lives. And I want you to understand that, because see, and when you do it, it's the heart behind the action. Because I got online in 2009 on Twitter, and I blew up on Twitter by 2010. I was like the regular person who was a celebrity on Twitter, because, everybody had like 100 followers, and I had got to like 25,000 followers. And when I got on, it was people who had 10,000 followers when I had 30 followers, and I passed them. And when I got to 10,000, they were still at 100. And it took some people 2 years to get 1,000 followers on Twitter, but I went to 25,000. And I'm going to tell you what the secret was. The secret was, I did not read blogs on how to master Twitter. I did not do anything. What the secret was, when I got online, I said, I want to post quotes that will change people's lives. I want people to be able to see what I do online and get some inspiration and some motivation from it. And so what happened is, it grew. So then what God said is, because you have set out to take care of my people. Now, you want to take care of my people, but I want to remind you, first you got to take care of yourself. So God said, before you point out the beam in his eye, you need to get the beam out of your eye. I need you to treat your wife right. I need you to walk in love. I need you to be a better man. I need you to be a better husband and a better father. And as you do that, then share what you're learning with other people, and it'll help other people. And then when you do that, I don't want you to worry about anything, because what he said is, if you look outside, your grass is green. If you go to the lilies of the field, they are naturally clothed. If you look at the bird in the air, you will see the same bird every single day sitting in that tree or flying by your house, and is eating. But that bird cannot sow a crop. That bird cannot plant a field. That bird cannot reap a harvest. But I have put things in place so that bird can live. And it's a cycle. So when you understand and you cast your cares on me and you trust in me and you operate from purpose. See, a lot of people chasing money. When you chase money, you will always be lacking. And so what happened is, when I started to blow up on Twitter and my following started to grow, it was people busting out the woodworks, wanting to be a life coach, wanting to be a speaker, wanting to do quotes online. But that's because they thought they saw money and fame. They thought that they were going to leave their job and chase the money. But see, even when you are doing purpose work, it is the heart behind the work that matters the most. So if your heart is not in the right place, nothing you do will work. But if your heart is in the right place, any and everything you do will work. Anything you put your hand to will prosper when your heart is in the right place. And so it started to grow and it started to spread. And I said, Lord, I want to take this pain and turn this pain into purpose. I want you to understand, do not run from your pain. You were allowed to go through the pain, and you live through the pain for a reason. So don't run from your pain. Don't hide from your pain. Take your pain and let your pain birth purpose. When your pain birth purpose, it might be a book. It might be a course. It might be a seminar. It might be a live video. Your pain can show up in purpose in many different ways. So stop running from your story. Stop hiding your skeletons, trying to dump clothes on your skeletons and trying to lock the closet behind you. Instead, pull them skeletons out the closet. Put some meat on their bones, put some clothes on their body, and send them skeletons out to work for you. Tell on yourself so the enemy can't tell on you. So your haters can't tell on you. So the adversary can't tell on you. And see, when I start to tell on myself and I start to turn that pain into purpose. Heard somebody say somewhere along the journey, they said, turn your mess into your message. So I let my pain birth my purpose. I let my message birth my message, and I operated from that place. I operated from that place, and everything else flowed. Everything else fell into place. And what I learned on the journey is that when you chase purpose, the money and your needs, and see, money, not money in the sense of riches, but money in the sense that you will have everything that you need. And if you take care of those needs, then you will also get to a place that you can have some of the things that you want. And you will be blessed and blessed abundantly. And you will be blessed to the point that you can take care of yourself and have some needs and the desires of your heart and still be able to bless others. That you will be able to bless others before you bless yourself, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And God will work through you and he will take care of you. So I had to realize, and I had to take this thing real serious when he said, you see, I feed the fowls of the air. You see, I clothe the lilies of the field. So how much more will I do for you, my child, who you're walking by faith and you're living in obedience to my word? And everything opened up, and I start to see a lot of young men, and it was a blessing when my brand started to grow online, because it was tens and twenties and hundreds of young men, and not just young black men, but young men of all colors, and they were coming and they were starting to do what I was doing. They were starting to be a life coach, be a speaker, be an author. Some of them had success, but then some of them failed. And the only way you fail when you are chasing purpose, when you're operating in purpose, the only way you fail is when your heart is not in the right place. So they looked at what they thought they saw. But see, one thing about it is when you are operating in purpose, you won't look like what you've been through. And you won't look like what you're going through. So people will look at you and see favor and blessings on you, and you might be in the midst of a struggle. But because you've already cast your cares, and because you're operating from the right place, you taken care of, you blessed, everything is being worked out. To the day, to the dollar, to the dime, to the hour, down to the minute, everything is being worked out on your behalf. And a lot of people, they came and they saw the product, but they didn't understand the process. They saw the career and thought it was a career and didn't understand it was a calling. They saw the prize and didn't understand the pain. See, they saw the money and didn't understand the work. So what you have to realize is that a lot of people will jump in and try to do what you're doing when you step into purpose. But guess what? They won't be able to do it because they don't have that underlying calling that it takes. So I saw people falling by the wayside because they wanted the product but didn't want the process. They wanted the rewards but didn't want to go through that pain. That thing that you have to go through that takes you to that point, that births you, that pushes you, that propels you. Pain will propel you into purpose if you allow it to. And they didn't want that. And so I started to see people fall by the wayside because their heart was not in the right place. So I want you to understand this today, and I want you to think about this, and I want you to look at your life, and I want you to identify what you're going through. Think about what you're going through, and think about where you're trying to get to. And then ask yourself, what are you doing? Look at your life and ask yourself, am I operating in purpose? Even if you're working for man and you're doing man's job, you're working on man's job, you can balance man's job with your purpose. And your purpose may very well replace man's job. And that's what happened in my life. So I can be here still operating in purpose. And so what happened was I started to create purpose products. And everything was about purpose, and everything was about taking somebody's life to the next level. And the difference between me and some of the people you're going to bump into on YouTube is they're going to sell you something, but they're selling you something to make you money. They're selling you something that's solely based in money. So they're talking to you about making money and how to get rich and how to get the good life. I'm not interested in money creating the good life, because I know purpose is serving your purpose, doing what you're called to do. And each and every one of us has a unique call. Each and every one of us has a unique calling on our life and a unique gift that you can be a blessing to somebody. And you have to identify that. And a lot of times it will be aligned with either your pain or your passion. And your pain and your passion can become your purpose. And then your whole goal is, am I making someone else's life easier? Am I making someone else's journey a little bit easier? And if the answer is yes, then you're serving your purpose. And if you know God and you believe in God and you serve God, you have to ask yourself, am I pushing people closer to the throne? Am I doing kingdom work, or am I just doing man's work? Am I here to please God, or am I here to please man? And when you get those answers, that's when you're going to start to see. See, your results will be determined by the behind the scenes, by the work that's going on, and by where your heart is at in the work that you call yourself doing. And when you get that, and you understand that, and you start operating in purpose, and everything that you create and everything that you do, it serves something that is bigger than you. It serves a purpose that is bigger than you, and it's a bigger goal than just being rich. So I said to God, Lord, if I could help 1,000 people a year, if I could get 1,000 people a year with this course. So if I take and do a course, yes, it costs me money. Yes, it is an investment in myself. Yes, it's going to cost me. But what can it do for someone else when they invest in themselves? So yes, it costs me to produce, and it's going to cost them to take it. But then the results of it is I'm serving purpose, and they're getting closer to their purpose. If I just teach you how to flip houses, you're going to flip houses and still be ready to blow your brains out. But if I teach you how to flip houses, but then also talk to you about starting a nonprofit organization to help disadvantaged youth get a better education, or to identify their gifts and goals at an early age, now you're serving purpose. So now that money won't drive you crazy. Now the problems that money presents will be solved by you having a peace of mind, because you know what you're doing is what you were called to do. So hey, I just want to drop that on y'all today. Think about that. And this is an everyday word. I could come on here every day and there'll be different people on here, and everybody need to hear that same word. And you know, that came from the bottom of my heart, and I want you to understand that, because it has changed my life. And my hope is that more people can find freedom. Freedom from a dead-end job, freedom from a dead-end relationship, freedom from the cycle of a broke mentality, freedom from the generational curses. Find freedom, find peace, and choose happiness. Choose to be happy, choose to be productive, choose to live your life on a new level, and be prepared. In the process, be prepared for the devils that come with the new levels. But I just want to drop that on y'all. Stick with me, pay attention. Hey, lock in on TonyGaskins.com. It's a motivation list at the top of my site, TonyGaskins.com. My last name, Gaskins. Gaskins. Lock in on TonyGaskins.com and sign up for the motivation list, so you'll get the daily motivation. It's like a video every day. And then on Thursday nights that I'm available, we do a power call. If you see me here live on Thursday, it may be the same thing you hear on the power call. But if you miss here, then at least you know you'll get the information to be on the power call. And I'm always going to say the same, something different. I'm going to add something else in there, because I'm not talking from a cue card. You know, it's just the spirit, the channel. So I'm going to say something different. So even if you hear the same thing, you know, it's going to touch you in a different way. Somebody said, when my next seminar? Um, when you join the motivation list, it's at the top of my website on TonyGaskins.com. It's also on my timeline somewhere. You'll be notified about all my upcoming seminars. So whenever I'm doing a seminar, I will send out an email. And stick with me. Pay attention. If you haven't, I'm getting ready to post an affirmation from my affirmation book. I'm only going to post the first 15 because it's 31 of them. So for the people who don't have the $3 to get the ebook, you'll get at least 15. I can't give all of them away because it's unfair for the people who did spend the $3 to get the ebook. But if you haven't got the ebook, it's entitled, This Is My Year. This is my year, 31 daily affirmations. It's on Kindle, iBooks, the Nook. Also on my mailing list, I need to check by the night because on the motivation list, I'm giving away a gift each month. I want to give away a Kindle because I feel like we need to do more reading. And I notified the winner last night, so she has until later tonight to respond. If she don't, then I'll be randomly picking another email from the list. And I choose from the emails that have read the last 5 emails. So, 1 month just might be your month of a blessing. But thank y'all so much. The comments is going so fast I can't really keep up with them and read them. And I hear my son, I think I done woke him up. Well, no, he went to bed at 1, so he got his 2 hours in. My 2-year-old, I done woke him up, so I gotta go get him. But I thank y'all so much. God bless you, and hope to talk to you tonight on the power call. It's a free call. Now, if you have Metro PCS, I think they say, somebody told me they charge $3 to call. If all you got to spend is $12 a month to be on the call, it could be a blessing. Or you could just do the live. T-Mobile, somebody said charge 1 cent a minute. That's a sign y'all need to invest in Verizon or AT&T. I don't want to stamp them, but you might want to start saving up a little bit, the best you can, if you can. It'll happen. Might take some time, but it'll happen. I want y'all to be able to get on the conference call, the power call, because sometimes I also do a Q&A there, which is much easier for me than trying to do Q&A here because the comments going so fast. But God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.